do Paripurna Navasana. Shall we? Okay, so it's interesting, this abdominal asana, udara, kunchana sthiti, so these poses that bring stability to this area. It's a boat. So when you think about a boat, do you think, I mean, that's not like a tractor, right? It's not on the ground usually. It's on a dynamic surface of the water. So it's interesting that these boat poses are stabilizing poses, okay? So we'll be doing, we're gonna start with our knees bent, similar approach to what we did just a moment ago, because though you can lift your straight legs from the floor and come to Paripurna Navasana, and you can lift your straight legs from the floor in Urdhva Prasarita Padasana. We are doing this today because of where we're going, okay? We're just gonna try to connect these places, these poses really. So I'm going to have my knees bent, I'm gonna lean back slightly, and then lift my chest up. So I'm drawing the abdominal wall, the skin, the muscles, and the organic body towards the back, which is really important in some of these poses because the organic body sometimes gets propelled forward. We want it to be it's almost like resting and situated, established towards this broad back waist area. So I'm going to, as I lift up through my chest, I'm taking the abdominal wall back and up and my shoulders down, and also engaging the back body in towards the abdomen. So the front and the back are moving towards each other in that very center of me, which is the present. Okay, and that's what I'm going to try to maintain as I take my feet off the floor like you just did, hopefully at the same time, and then straighten my legs. So my hands are holding my legs right now so that I can keep my chest lifted, and then when I take my hands away, I need to maintain what I had. Okay, so in other words, it's not that dropping. Okay, so you're holding your attention on this this movement away from the legs, back and up, and on the back moving in and up, and watching that so that when you remove your arms from your legs, that is maintained. And that's a dynamic process. It's not a holding, but it's a dynamic counter movement. Shall we try? Bend your knees, take both feet to the floor. Take your hands to your thighs, join your knees if possible. That's it, lean back slightly. The reason I'm asking you to join your legs will become apparent soon, okay. Okay, now lift your chest up, roll your shoulders. Remember how you took your outer shoulders back to the floor in Urdhva Prasarita Padasana? Okay, same idea. Now with an exhalation, draw the abdominal wall from the pubic bone back and up towards the spine, towards the diaphragm, and then move your lower back in and up as well. And now float your feet off the floor. Okay, are you breathing? Okay, now let's stretch our legs. Some of us rocked back a bit. Can you lift up a little? Do you feel the activity in your abdomen when you did that? Okay, now without disturbing, so keep your attention on those lower back muscles, the skin of your lower back moving in towards the sacrum, towards the back ribs and up, and the skin and the muscles of your abdominal wall moving back and up, and now stretch your arms forward without dropping. Okay. Now take your hands to your thighs, bend your knees, and down you come. Yes, challenging. So it's interesting how what goes forward as a counter movement. So counter movements are natural. They're natural. We do them all the time with the intention of stabilizing ourselves. So if I come forward, my toes will press the floor, and that brings me back. So this is actually reflexive in the nervous system. And there are counter movements that our body is doing to help us stabilize. So this is something very deep and organic. But we're attempting to be more conscious of them and make maybe a different choice in some circumstances, because some of them might not be helpful. So Orly, when you did this and you took your arms away and you felt your shoulders drop back, didn't you? So do you know what you took forward? To counter movement? Do you know what you took forward? No. Your chin. Oh, my chin. Yes. So it was interesting to see that, because So often we'll do these actions with our eyes, with our tongue, with our jaw. And it's the deeper intention is the body's really trying. We're trying, but it's just we use this part, and this part's not so well situated. It's like dharma. You know, the dharma of your jaw is not to keep you up in Paripurna Navasana. As Krishna says, it's better to do your own dharma poorly than someone else's well, right? So let your jaw do it. So now, this is about this area right now, okay? So let's try one more time, and then we're going to work with our arms here, okay? So let's take we won't hold it as long. So bend your knees, lean back slightly, legs together. Draw your shoulder blades back, upper arms back and into the socket, which is your shoulder blades. Take your shoulder blades down, away from your ears and into your back ribs. And then as you draw your abdomen back and up, the same time keep those skin and muscles of your lower back moving in and up. Okay? And the shoulder blades down. So they're meeting somewhere at the back bottom shoulder blade, the seat of the heart. Keep that area very firm. Float your feet off the floor. All right, now draw your attention back to the back body and the abdominal wall in that relationship. Okay, straighten your legs fully. So you have the luxury of your hands being there to press your thighs into your hands so that your knees will actually straighten. Okay, now stretch without losing. So maintain the attention on your back body and straighten your arms forward and the abdomen. Okay, yes. Good. Relax your throat, everyone. Take your chin just down a little bit so your throat stays soft. Okay. Just a little. You were fine. Okay, now bend your knees and come down. All right, and okay, enough of that. We're going to work with our arms for a moment. I say that because it's really in this intention to stay uplifted. It would be different if we were doing this pose. Okay, we could be doing Ubaya, Padangustasana, and then we could lift up. All right, but right now, Guruji in Light on Yoga is looking at his shins. You can see that, and his toes are higher than his eyes. That's important because we're going to do Ardha Navasana in a moment. In Paripurna Navasana, your toes are higher than your eyes. If your eyes are up here, your toes are going to have to go up too, right? So you're looking straight ahead. You can see it's really a good opportunity to see your legs and what they're up to. Okay, but when you take your head back like this, the head weighs a lot. You just made the pose harder for yourself because it's this big ball at the end of this lever, and you just took it back. But the intention was great, but the choice or what happened didn't necessarily fulfill the intention. Okay, so we're going to work with our arms. We're going to take a little break from this. We're going to stand up. Okay. And we're going to do one thing with our arms because it's a little bit different from what we did on the floor. But we're going to use this idea of the dynamic movement, or let's say the inspiration to proceed, okay, and the adhesiveness to establish oneself. So take your arms forward, it's a little experiment, and reach them towards me. Like just reach forward like you're holding some ball far away from you. So you feel your shoulder blades spread. Right? You feel a little sinking in your chest. All right, now pull your upper arms back towards the wall behind you. So we do both of these movements, right? So a little bit more like Bakasana kind of, and this more is like a slightly different movement. Keep your shoulder blades away from your ears, whether you're taking your arms forward, so take them forward, but keep your shoulder blades down. So just notice it is possible, okay? Take them back and take the shoulder blades down. All right, now bring your arms down. So what we're going to do, so sometimes we think it's either or, right? I either spread my shoulder blades or I take them towards each other. I either lift my heel in Warrior One or I take it down. Sometimes we give ourselves these either or things. So right now, okay, so I just said you either spread your shoulder blades or you take them together. You either reach forward or you go back. Right now, it's going to be and. So it's not that binary circumstance. It's not either or, it's and. Because often in life it's and. Okay, this is a mixture. So what we're going to try, okay, you can see how the bhavana, how it makes your body feel, is I'm going to reach forward. So it's not, right now I'm reaching forward, right now I'm just pulling back. And they both have their benefits. but I'm going to reach forward, and then I'm going to move my chest energetically towards my palms. Did you guys see that? Okay. So, which is kind of like pulling my arms back, except that what I've done is that instead of just moving the humerus forward or the humerus back, I've come forward and then I've drawn that shoulder blade into the humerus and the back ribs into that. So in other words, the socket really comes in there as a holder. Okay, it's coming in, and that's your shoulder blade, and then it moves the back ribs towards the heart. So it's just a way of bringing your back awareness into this movement of your arms. Okay? Shall we try it? Okay, so take your arms forward. So first, reach forward, feel that. Kind of disconnected, right? Now pull back. Kind of rigid, wouldn't you say? Okay. Now reach forward. Okay, now move your bottom breast region towards your palms. Move your chest towards your palms. And do you feel some activity in the area around your bottom shoulder blade area? Okay, and then bring your arms down. It might not look like much from the outside, but what did you feel internally in terms of your bhavana or your mind state? Let's take it one more time. Take your arms forward. Notice the psychology of this position. Reach your arms way forward. Psychology of that. Okay, now pull your arms back. Just back. Psychology of that. Now, you don't have to reach your arms way forward, but reach them forward a bit. Okay, now move those shoulder blades, the wingtips, towards your palms. Psychology of this. Powerful. Good. Stable. Great. Great. Bring your arms down. And can be powerful. So it makes me think of, there's this great Rilke poem, and at the end of the poem, he says, take your practiced powers, that's abhyasa, right? Take your practiced powers and stretch them until they span the chasm between two contradictions. So there's something very powerful about being able to hold those opposites and not feel that you have to be on one side or the other. Okay, so let's try that arm movement in Paripurna Navasana. Okay, so we're going to do what we did. We won't hold it as long, but then you're going to see what happens when I take my arms forward, that they're not just held in a position like it's static, but they have a purpose. Okay, so let's try. So come down to the floor. Let's do one last Paripurna Navasana. Okay, take your hands behind your knees. We're going to approach the pose the same way just for consistency. Lean back slightly. Take your shoulder blades away from your ears as you lift your chest up. That's it, and soften your throat. Good. Now as you straighten your legs, as you take your feet off the floor, just take the feet off the floor without losing the lift of the lower back. That's it. Relax your throat. Take your chin down just a little bit. So it's not Jalandhara Bandha, but it's easy to throw the head back here. Now stretch your legs up so your toes are higher than your eyes. You can kind of look up, see there's your toes, so it looks kind of straight at your shins. Okay, now so keep that lower back moving in and up, the abdominal organic body moving back and up, and then take your arms forward, pause there. Okay, now reach your arms forward a bit. Okay, now move your chest towards your shins, move your back ribs towards your shins, your shoulder blades towards your shins. And then take your hands to your legs and release and come down. Were you able to do that? Mm-hmm. Yeah? A little bit? Good. All right. So we're going to do what pose now? Yes. Okay. So this one, Ardha Navasana, is like Navasana. It's a boat pose. So, and we'll actually do it from Paripurna Navasana. Then we're going to take our arms from this position and bring them similar to headstand. This is a similar position, so we're not going to press our hands into our head. They're folded back there. But same idea. Okay, not this or that, but that. Okay, where there's that intention to bring the shoulder blades into the back ribs. So we'll be here, and then we take our hands behind our head, and then we start to lower our legs and our torso, but they have to go at a different rhythm because we're going to come to that place where the toes and the eyes are level. And the back changes shape a little bit here. So see if you can catch that. I'll try to make it visible. Do you see a little change in the shape of my back? Okay. So this is more like a canoe, and this pose is more like one of those smokestacks on the cruise ship. You know, really angular and uplifted. And the other one has, there's a shape change. The back is not quite as extended as it is in Paripurna Navasana. Got it? So let's try that. Okay. So take your hands behind your knees, lean back slightly, draw your shoulder blades deep into your back ribs, float your feet off the floor and stretch your legs. Okay, now take your arms forward, reach them forward, but then move those shoulder blades towards your chin, your shins, towards your shins. Notice how that helps the abdomen engage, doesn't it? Okay, now hands behind the back, the head, and then start to slowly lower your legs and draw the sides of your back waist a little further back. Don't let the feet go quicker than the head. So you have to find that you could take your torso a little bit further back, Edwin, shoulders away from your ears. Take your shoulder blades, Edwin, away from your ears. Okay, now come back to Paripurna. Oh, it's hard, isn't it? Okay, and then down you come. Okay, so just so you know, the pattern for you is to go up here rather than keeping that connection. Because we're getting tired, we can do this one more time, okay? Just one more time. So you're gonna keep your shoulder blades away from your ears. The rest of you, see if you can be aware of the rhythm. So your toes, your feet start higher than your head. So as you're going down, in order to be even, the legs might have to go a little bit faster than the head, but not so much faster that they dropped way down. That's, again, that intention to stay connected to what's happening in this part of the body. Again, it's changing shape slightly, all right? Let's try one last time. Take your hands behind your knees. We're going from Paripurna Navasana. I know it's challenging. Lean back and lift your chest. That's it. Stretch your legs forward. Okay, and then arms forward. Now, when you reach your arms forward, that's it, and then you move your shoulder blades towards your shins. That's the idea. Okay, now hands behind the head, and now start to slowly lower, finding that rhythm where at some point your feet, your toes, and your eyes sync up at the same level. And then for you, Edwin, you could go just a little lower without hunching your shoulder blades. Okay, now come back to Paripurna Navasana. Oh, and then the lower back, isn't it? That's Alex, that's what has to come in and up, and then down you come. Because then those muscles don't necessarily want to engage. All right, so that's enough of that one. As I lift up through my chest, I'm taking the abdominal wall back and up, and my shoulders down, and also engaging the back body in towards the abdomen. So the front and the back are moving towards each other in that very center of me, which is the present. Okay, and that's what I'm going to try to maintain as I take my feet off the floor like you just did, hopefully at the same time, and then straighten my legs. So my hands are holding my legs right now so that I can keep my chest lifted, and then when I take my hands away, I need to maintain what I had. Okay, so in other words, it's not that, dropping, okay? So you're holding your attention on this counter move, this movement away from the legs, back and up, and on the back moving in and up.